Malta's car usage is very close to that indicated by Michael in the United States. It is excessively high, and we feel its effects every time we are on the road. I think the issues of relevance in such a discussion are basically three. Last summer, the Environment Authority published the State of the Environment indicators, which indicated an ever-increasing pollution level, both of PM10 particles, of benzene, a deterioration of air quality. And when one analyzes the localities, as Yvonne said in her introduction, the localities which are mostly contributing to this state of affairs are localities which serve as a true traffic passage. This would recall a study made, a medical study made in Fgura and Zaytun some years ago about the incidence of asthma and its correlation with these type of problems. And it was identified that traffic is a major contributory factor to asthma in Fgura and Zaytun. Obviously, the study can be carried out in other areas, and one could draw most probably similar conclusions. These are the basic, this is the basic information which led AD in the last general elections to propose an overhauling of public transport as one of 6 basic points which it presented to the electorate. In the last general election, AD drew up a short electoral program identifying the basic issues which we felt should be focused on, and transport was one of them. We identified the need to overhaul public transport, to make public transport accessible, not just physically accessible, but also financially accessible to all. Government past months has had a unique opportunity of having the overhaul of the public transport and the car registration taxation simultaneously on its agenda. It had the unique opportunity to have a holistic view of the problem and try to solve the problem in a holistic manner. It is useless to say that you are reforming the car registration taxation system using environmental criteria when you do not have a reliable alternative. It is a basic rule of environmental taxation that if you increase taxation on an undesirable behavior, you have, prior to that increase, to create a reasonable alternative. Otherwise, all the taxes which will be added to the price of the car would result in an inelastic reaction. That means it will not affect the purchase of the cars, and it will not affect the number of cars on the road. And this is what will happen until such time as the public transport is reasonably overhauled. And we have physical accessibility to most of the island, but also we have the possibility that is financially accessible for all. An efficient public transport would channel clients, would channel custom from use of their own car to the use of public transport, be it buses, be it trams, be it a train, be it an underground, or being the use of a bicycle, because if we have less cars on the road, then our roads will be more safe. It will be safer to use, which they are not at present due to the large number of cars. So an efficient public transport will firstly result in less cars on the road. It will simultaneously improve the quality of our air and hence reduce respiratory diseases. It will, as a consequence, increase our mobility, not just by reducing traffic jams, not just by reducing the large number of cars on the road, but also by making it easier to use alternative forms of transport. This would also then make sense of any initiative to use bicycles. The initiative in the last budget by having 15.25% refund on bicycle purchase does not make sense in the present context of things. In a previous electoral program, I believe, AD had also proposed the giving of a bicycle to 16-year-olds, I believe, Harry. To all 16-year-olds, we're giving them a bicycle free. But in the present state of affairs, having our roads unsafe, this would not make sense. The road circulation tax. The road circulation tax has not been designed with environmental criteria in mind. It has been designed with the objective of returning the same amount of monies at the end of the year as the old system used to return. This is simply, in our opinion, a calculated exercise. The same amounts which were gathered prior to this budget will most probably be collected at the end of the next financial year. Within this context, one would understand more the reason why hybrid cars are treated as all other cars, why electric cars are not even mentioned. The road circulation tax is just one instrument which one could use as an environmental instrument to curb car use. One other important aspect which has not been mentioned is the possible introduction of a carbon tax, that is a tax on the fuel. Because in reality, having a car and not using it, you are being taxed the same amount as those who have a car and use it. In reality, the difference between the usage of the car would be on taxation on the fuel to be used. There was a slight adjustment by introduction of an excise tax, small excise tax on petrol and diesel in the last budget, but that was insignificant. Obviously, all taxation on cars within the present context will not, as I have said earlier, reduce car usage until we have a reasonable alternative. I think it is necessary to claim back the roads for our use. The current state of our roads is such that they are designed for the use of the cars and not for our use. A reform of the public transport system will initiate the cultural change which is necessary to switch our mobility from private cars to public transport and consequently to clear part of our roads, part of the day, so that they will be safe and we can make more use of them. I made on purpose my